Welcome to another episode of Called to Chaos.
Hey guys,
How we doing?
doing good. Get myself situated here. How are you doing?
Doing well
Yeah,
ish.
she had a fun thing this morning.
Did I?
You get to go to
Oh,
clap out. She's like, "What did I do just an hour ago?" I don't know.
that is so true.
Yeah, tell us
Yes.
about it
Senior clap
real
out with
quick.
Kason. It was really fun and exciting. I mean, honestly, my anxiety was like, don't go. But I went and got to go back to his old stomping grounds. He was there from kindergarten through fourth grade, and only one of his teachers was still working there, his second grade teacher. But it was so cool just to walk those halls again,
Yeah.
and it felt so surreal. Like I just had you here in
Mm-hmm.
kindergarten taking pictures with your locker and your desk, and
Yeah. Oh my
now
gosh,
you're about to graduate.
that's so crazy.
And
His teacher
so,
must have been young when he was there because she looked young.
I mean, I don't know,
Oh,
maybe.
that's so cool though. I love that.
I also saw Nyla Faith's kindergarten teacher because Nyla Faith went there for kindergarten. And that was cool because Nyla Faith still talks about that teacher to this
Oh,
day. She still really likes Miss Candy Graham. That's her name.
oh,
And I saw her and I said, I have to go up to her and let her know that Nyla Faith still talks about her
that's
and
awesome.
still remembers her. So it was fun.
But that made her whole day.
I hope it did. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, what was your chaotic moments this week?
Ugh. Man, since the last time we record, I probably have another 50,000 chaotic moments. It's trying to narrow it down. I think right after we recorded last week's episode, we were scrambling to make a prom corsage for
Yes, yes,
Kason.
we were.
And we successfully did that. And then, he had prom on Saturday, which was really, really fun. But I think just the chaos of trying to do all of those things
hmm
between making the corsage and his thing, which I found out later. We were only planning on doing the corsage
Right,
for her,
right.
and then realized, oh, also he's supposed to have like a matching
You know, the
thing.
boutonniere thing.
And so making that for him and hoping it didn't fall apart, and
Yes.
then going to take pictures and getting them off to prom. And so that was a lot of chaos. And then it's Mother's Day week, which is
Yeah.
chaotic at work,
hmm
photo ops and all the things. So
Yeah.
there was actually quite a bit of chaos in my week again.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it's the end of the year all the time. This
Uh-huh.
time in the school year, but also it's like all the things back to back.
Why
I don't
do
know.
they not plan, whoever created the holidays?
Yeah.
Why is Mother's Day in the last month of school when there is 15,000 other things we have to do?
I. That's a really great question. We should look it up because I don't know.
Because that's not fair.
I know.
We can't focus on Mother's Day. We've got to focus
No.
on 15 other
Yeah.
things. This kid's school party and this
Literally. Especially even
awards. And
senior.
yeah, I'm like,
It's one thing after another, I'm sure.
I can't even at this point. Well, let's talk about your birthday.
Yeah, my birthday was so fun.
Yeah, because she had no idea.
No idea what we were gonna do, and Helen was in the back of it, which I already knew. Oh, she had to have been. Um, so
I didn't know it was going to be a secret.
well, you did a really good job of not telling me
Because
because I guess because I said something.
I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to let Matt tell you. But then when you told me that Matt said he was taking you out, that's when I realized, oh, it's probably a secret.
Yeah, so I'm glad I said something.
Yeah.
It was so fun though, y'all. So we Matt didn't tell me until we got there, and he didn't even tell me we were picking up Helen.
Which is a whole nother story.
Yeah, it's a whole nother story. But like that day, I think in the morning, I said, "Is my best friend coming? I hope my best friend's coming." He did an emoji like this.
That's
I was like,
so
"Oh, she's
funny.
coming!"
He texted me that.
And so we went and picked her up. Gary's flight got delayed, and so she came, and then Gary had to meet us there by Uber.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I know, but he still got there, which I was like so impressed. Anyways, we went to this place called The Worthy. Is
The
that
Worthy
right?
Co.
The Worthy Co. And made candles. It
Mhm.
was so fun. Got to pick out our own scent, and our own little jar for it. And they showed us how to make them. And then we got to actually make it. And then what really cool about it is that it's the whole thing, spot like
Benefits.
benefits. There you go. Benefits, trafficking, which is really cool. Our youth group has been promoting that. So to hear their story,
Yeah.
And if you've never heard their story, look it up. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, they, like, employ, um, victims and
Mhm.
survivors, I guess, of human trafficking,
Yeah.
and so they give them a place to work and to feel worthy, which is why
Mhm.
they're called the Worthy
Yeah.
Co. And so it's a really cool, like, what's the word I'm looking
It's a
for?
cool experience
It's a cool
and
experience,
a, like
but it's double whammy, right? Like, you're
yes,
not just getting the
you're supporting
experience, you're
something that's
supporting
bigger.
something that is so cool. And so, yeah, it was fun. I gave Matt 3
Mm.
options of things that I thought we should do when we once we realized that, like, traveling for
Yes.
a weekend away wasn't gonna work.
Right.
I said, "Well, here's what I'm thinking." I literally said to him, I said, "I think Barbara's perfect birthday would be tattoos, an activity date that's something, like, crafty, and then, like, dinner."
Yeah.
And so
So we did.
that's what we did. We did tattoos without them,
Mhm.
but then I said, "Hey, here's the 3 places that I think could be cool," and he picked the candle making.
Yeah, I was really impressed
Yeah.
because we had never done that before, and it was just really fun. It was just out of the box and
Mhm.
something we had which I always wanna do something I haven't done.
Yeah.
So I loved it, and we got to go to dinner at Joe T. Garcia's, which is one of my favorite places. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank
I'm so
you for helping.
glad.
It
She
was
had
a
a good birthday.
success, y'all, and that means a lot
Yeah.
because I'm a birthday person, and not everybody is sometimes, and so I kinda set myself up for some disappointment.
I mean, we talked about that last week. I always do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's better to set myself up with no
Mhm.
expectations, and that way I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, but it was really, really fun.
Yeah.
So, highly recommend. And it's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
And then we get to go back and get our candle, which we forgot to
We
do.
forgot to do. You're
So
supposed to
we
wait 2 days.
yeah, they have secure while it's there. So you have to go back and get it or they can ship it. But these candles are supposed to last like 80 hours or
Yeah.
something.
They were and the scents were really good, and you
They
can
were really good.
also buy their candles, like, they have the
Mhm.
oils, you can buy
Yeah.
the oils just to take with you, you can buy their candles, and then they have a lot of jewelry for sale, which is
Yeah.
made, like, all handmade by the, survivors, the
Mhm.
trafficking survivors, which is
Yeah.
really cool,
It's really cool.
and they showed how they had, like, a book about how they went from this house that was run down that they were
Yeah.
finally able to purchase, but that they turned into.
It was the candle making place at first,
Yes.
and now it's their like manufacturing
Yeah.
place
Yeah, their
where the girls
warehouse.
work on everything.
Mhm.
So really, really cool. I was reading on their website that they have helped, like, some crazy amount, like, over 2,500 girls since 2018.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
and I
amazing.
was just like, "That is so cool."
I don't think people realize how prominent trafficking
Mhm.
is in
Yeah,
the United States.
and even just, like, right here where we are, DFW.
Yeah, DFW in Texas, DFW especially because we
Yes.
have DFW
Mhm.
International.
Really,
It's
yeah.
so easy, and then I also don't think that people realize that trafficking isn't what you think.
Mhm.
Right? Trafficking isn't as simple as, like, someone being abducted. So you
Yeah.
think if you're keeping yourself or your kids or your family away from places where you could get abducted,
Mhm.
then trafficking is not gonna happen to you or anyone
Right.
you know, and that's just not the case.
Nope.
Trafficking is so much more than that. And so if you are unfamiliar, I would highly recommend just
Mhm.
doing a little bit of research because it is crazy
Yeah.
what is happening in our own community and scary if you
Mhm.
have children. I
Yeah.
mean, I would be scared of myself, but I think I'm a little
Yeah.
I'd be fighting.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's happening to some of our most vulnerable people,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times people are willingly going into it, not always. There are times when girls or women are willingly going into a trafficking situation unknowingly
Right.
because they are trying to get a better life,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they are getting a promise of this great life and not
Mhm.
realizing that they're being put into
Right.
trafficking
Or it
situations.
could be even our younger kiddos being groomed. A lot of
Mhm.
it's happening online now. I think she said, like, maybe 1% is actually, like, the movie Taken, you
Yeah.
know? But the rest of it is, like you're saying, or it's literally people are being groomed through video games,
Mhm.
through all kinds of things, thinking they're talking to somebody else when they're not, and then they finally end up somehow getting them to meet up with them, and that's
Yep.
where it all starts, and
Yep.
so yeah, definitely do your research,
For sure.
look into it, teach your kids.
Teach your kids and like
Yes.
social media is not necessary guys.
Mm-mm.
It's not. I mean, oh, it's scary.
It is scary.
I mean, we all have those kids that are begging for Instagram or,
Yep.
I mean,
Ella's begging for it, and I still
Nyla
won't let her
Faith
have
is
it.
13 and she's begging for
I'm
it.
like, nope.
Kason has it. He's 18. It's a
Right. He's
different story.
18.
But Nyla Faith's begging. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm protecting you.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
get it. Well, I'm smarter than that. I know better.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they all think and say
Hmm.
until it happens to them. And
Yeah.
so, nope, not going to do it.
Yeah, Ella's 15, and she just keeps saying, well, all my friends have it. I'm like, well, I'm not all your friends' parents. And like, oh, I wish I had somewhere to post this picture or whatever. I'm like, keep talking, girl, because it's not going to change the fact that you're not getting it. I
Yeah.
don't care if you have a child, a canteen account, or whatever. There's always ways to get around that kind
There's
of stuff.
always ways.
And I'm like, no, we're not doing it.
I
We're
will
not doing it.
say the teen account with Instagram, if you're going to do anything, Kason still has a teen account.
Yeah.
The teen account, what's the good thing about that, which it doesn't prevent what we're talking about,
Hmm.
because it's still, they can still get
Right.
DMs, but it can connect to you. So you
That's
can
nice.
log in to their account from your account.
Okay.
Like they can be connected. So I think we let Ty have Instagram at 16 or 17 and Twitter, because back then Twitter was a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Now it's not even called Twitter.
Mm-mm.
So, but they didn't have teen accounts back then.
Right.
It was just, let me see your phone.
Right. Right.
Type
Yeah.
of a
So
situation.
just like, I'm just not ready for that. I'm like, nope.
It's
Nope.
one more thing you have to keep track of.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't have
No,
to.
I don't have the
So
energy to keep track of anything else.
exactly.
I just realized we never got to your
I can't-
chaotic moments.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to give you a little teaching lesson on MRIs right now. Okay. No idea all the things that went into an MRI. So I need to get an MRI on my back. Okay. So planned it out when I was going to go. I call the day before, and actually, I think I called when I was on my way or something. I don't remember. And they said, okay, just want to go over the last things. Have you gotten any fresh tattoos? Yes. Or do you have any implants of any kind, any other metal on your body or anything like that? I'm like, no. I said, I don't understand. Like, why a tattoo? I did just get a tattoo. Well, they suggest that you wait 6 weeks after your tattoo. I said, well, I'm not doing that.
No.
I said, I am hurting and I need to get this done. I said, well, why? Can you tell me why?
Yeah.
And she said, oh, hold on. Let me go ask the nurse.
Does she sound like that?
Yes,
Barbara?
she did. And I was like, okay, cool. So she comes back and she was like, so they say that it could leave a burn or on your arm or irritation, or it could distort your tattoo. And I was like, okay, well, they said, but you can sign a waiver. Cool, I'll sign the waiver. All right. So I'm like, I show up. I leave work for a little bit to go do this. I had to do an x-ray and an MRI. I get there. On my way there, I was like, well, hell, I got freaking extension.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that the little beads to hold my extensions on probably had some metal in them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they're not letting me in this place thing.
I didn't realize that you figured that out on your way there. I thought when you got there, they said, we can't do this. You have hair extensions.
No, I said, I do have hair extensions though. They're like, oh yeah, you can't do it. And I was like, I can't do it. I said, you're taking a picture of my back, my lower back and hip, not my head. Like, oh, well, it's a magnet. It could pull them out.
What?
All the way out. It could literally pull them out.
Okay. Pause. Time out. I want to see that happen.
Have you seen the video? There are some crazy videos.
I have never seen the videos, but now I kind of want to.
I know. It's like a giant magnet when it's on.
That's wild.
And so I was like, cool. I just got these hair extensions not very long ago. So now you're telling me I could go take them out and then I got to put them back in?
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. I almost cried right there. So I got the x-ray and then I just had to think through it. I was like, okay, don't freak out. Don't freak out. So Ella took them out for me. And then the girl does my hair. It was so dang sweet. I was going to go have it colored anyway. So I got a little darker. She's like, what are you talking about? Those beads don't have metal in them. I'm like, excuse me? They don't have, she's like, no, they're fully silicone. I'm like, cool. I should have texted you to ask you.
Yeah.
But she put them back in for free, which was so kind of her. So, need a hair girl. Hit me up.
So frustrating.
So frustrating. But got the MRI today. And now we have it. And now I can go to the doctor. Oh, tattoos. If you didn't know, you're not supposed to get it after you get a tattoo. Apparently, What chat told me was some ink has metal in it if it's cheap ink.
Oh,
I'm like, well, I didn't go to no cheap tattooist,
right.
so I'm
This
not
isn't
really
a
too
prison
worried about it.
tattoo.
Not a prison tattoo, or I didn't let Kaysen do it or anything. and um, and it said like it's super rare that it gets irritated, but they just kept saying it can heat your arm up, like it can start to be tingly, leave irritation. And I said, okay. I said I did my own research, and I think I'll be fine. So I had to sign a waiver for it, but had no idea.
Yeah.
It was a little chaotic.
That's chaotic. Well,
Scheduling and rescheduling, and then all the
yeah.
hair thing, and just
And then you find out you have to be at
oh
a
yes,
school function at the same.
yes. So I like made the appointment for the morning because I knew I had to do that, and then go literally walk across town for my hair appointment later in the day. And then Nate was like, "Mom, are you coming to my poetry reading?" Excuse me, poetry reading for Mother's Day. They wrote Mother's Day poems. Apparently, what had happened was he had brought a paper home.
It was a Mother's Day poem.
Yes, it was so sweet though.
Did Daxton do
I
that?
asked and he said no, or he said he didn't know. I don't know. It was like a poetry cafe thing.
The way I want to ask Dax.
They're on different teams, so maybe not.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, apparently they brought a paper home that talked about it. I kind of vaguely remember seeing the paper, but
They
never.
actually brought paper home?
I think so.
Wow.
But I was
Because I have been trying to look at the parent square
yeah,
because of end of year
but
stuff.
they were on the parent square. There's no dates, no time.
No, I don't even see anything about that. But I'm just saying I've been looking at it to like look at end of year
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And I haven't seen anything come through about anything.
Then you're
like
probably
that.
good to go. I was like, Nate, you can't just throw papers on the counter because first of all, I don't know who they belong to.
Right.
And second of all, you actually didn't say a lot. Yes, I did. I said something. What you just said that this was happening. You didn't tell me when. I didn't put it on my calendar. I can't live like that.
No.
So I was stressed out.
Do that.
Because like I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can make it there in time. So I was like, okay, I'm either not getting my hair done or I'm gonna be guilty being a bad mom.
First of all, that doesn't make you a bad mom.
It doesn't after you said that. And Matt was like, you're not a bad mom after Helen had said it. And I was like, okay, I have to get my hair done. But I still made it. I still made it at the very end of the day.
Great.
But it's been a day.
Yeah. After you stopped beating yourself up, the Lord was
Yes.
like, here you go. You still can make it on time.
Literally. It was so
Once
so
you
kind of him.
accept that your worth does not found in being able to do every single thing.
Yes. Gosh. Yes.
Which, listen, that should take us into our
literally
for the day.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the hardest things that women find, whether you are in ministry and leadership, working full time, a lot of times it's really hard for us to learn how to navigate and balance family life and leading or ministry. So particularly for us, it's ministry. And so I think that's probably the lane we'll talk through the most. But I know there are several people out there that can resonate with what we do.
Absolutely.
What is your top tip for someone who is wondering, how do I balance what I'm called to do and being a wife and a mom?
Yeah.
At the same time.
I think in our specific case, as far as ministry, I think it's making sure that you are bringing your kids and your spouse in with you, like letting them know the stories and the life change that's happening while you're at work. I remember being told that a long time ago when I first started ministry.
Yeah.
They said, make sure you're bringing your stories home. Make sure you're bringing your stories home. And I have found that does make a big difference.
Yeah.
And it may not make a difference like at the moment or like the way my heart feels when I miss something or whatever. But what I felt the Lord like was so kind today, and Nate's poems that he wrote me, it was all about how much I loved Jesus and how much like that I'm a Christian, and like literally his whole poem, something was like, who would you want to meet? He's like, my mom would want to meet Jesus and ask him questions. Like the whole thing was about that. And I'm like, he's listening. He does see it.
Yeah.
They are seeing what we do. Even in the midst of like, I can't be there this time, bud. Well, why not? But usually he's not like that. But we do our best to show up as much as possible, even when we're tired, even when we're exhausted. But letting them know the stories and just, again, modeling, I think is a big thing. Modeling that for them has been a big deal.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. That's a great one. I think bringing home the stories is so important because the cool thing is you start to see them having stories of their
Mhm.
own. I
Yeah.
can remember when our boys were at
Mm.
a summer camp together, and it's a Christian summer camp, and they came home so excited to tell us that there was a kid in their group that didn't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
And they got to share the gospel with this little boy.
Yeah.
And so when you can relate that to what we're doing on a larger scale,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's
We
good deal.
have this many people coming into our church every single weekend, and so many people don't know
Yeah.
Jesus. And the Lord has given us the privilege of being someone who gets to point them to Jesus and
Mhm.
show them Jesus. That's what we get to do.
Yeah.
And while we love you and our families, and that's so important, what we're doing is important too.
Mhm. Absolutely.
And if you wanted that little boy in your camp group to know Jesus so that he could be in heaven with you one day,
Yeah.
you would want that for every single
Right.
person just the same way we do.
Yeah.
And so that's super cool. I mean, even my husband at this point
Mhm. Yeah.
has stories and he doesn't even realize he's in
Right.
in those stories when
Yes.
he's doing
Yes.
it. It's super cool.
So cool. What about
I
you?
think I think my tip would be before even ministry begins, you have to be in agreement,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That it's a family calling. I say this all the time to my family and
Mhm.
to everyone. I've said it to you. You can't do ministry alone.
Yep.
Ministry is not something that you can, it's not a regular job.
Yep.
You cannot just clock in and clock out. And if it is not a family thing, it's it's going to wear you down.
Mhm.
It's going to burn you out and it's going to cause conflict in your marriage, in your parenting, all of that.
Yeah.
Ministry cannot be done alone. And so my number one tip is bringing your family along with you for everything.
Mm.
When I first got into ministry, that was a conversation we had with my husband and my kids, letting them know that there were certain things that that's just the way it was for
Mhm.
our family. Now we've always, not always, but most of our married life, we've been a church going family.
Yeah. Right.
That's not something that's changed, but being there all day or having several days where that's the priority,
Mhm.
I've had to explain.
Yeah.
This is the priority. These are things that we have to do. Having regular conversations with your kids,
Mhm.
with your spouse about what ministry looks like in a certain season.
Yeah.
I know for us, particularly when we started having Saturday services, we had to have a family meeting.
Mhm.
And it was, this is what's happening. And since ministry is a family calling, that means you
Mhm.
are all coming with me
Mhm.
until we get into a good rhythm.
Right.
And then the kids at first were not super excited about losing Saturdays
Mhm.
afternoons, but eventually they understood it. I
Yeah.
think even going into like Daxton with baseball, man, honestly, he probably still has a lot of big feelings about that. And every single time he's brought it up, I've just had to say, buddy, I am so sorry.
Mhm.
But what's more important, baseball or leading people to Jesus? And it's okay.
Yeah.
He gets it 100%. And so not that I ever want to make him feel that he should feel guilty for enjoying baseball or wanting
Mhm.
to do baseball, but you can do baseball every other day of the week.
Mhm.
And we can find a team that you can do that with. You don't
Yeah.
have to do it on Sundays.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've always been, even when before I was in ministry.
Yeah.
I used to watch families miss church for soccer or whatever it was. And I was just promising myself that wasn't going to be the thing. Occasionally, that is one thing.
Mhm.
Consistently, that is just not something I'm willing to sacrifice because of I don't ever want my children to think that that is the priority. I feel like, sure, we are, um, human beings and we all have lives and things that we're interested in, but we're still called to worship together, not just as adults, but as kids too.
Mhm.
That starts at a very young age. And if they're not coming together and worshiping in the church with other believers their
Yeah.
age, how do we expect them to continue to do that when they're
Yeah.
older? How do we expect them to choose church over going out and partying when they're 25 if
Mhm.
we're telling them that it's okay to do other things?
Yeah.
That's a whole TED talk I could get into, so we won't go there, but
Yeah.
I just think the tip of that is not doing it alone and making sure your family's on board to do it
Yeah.
because it is a calling for your whole family,
Mhm.
and then just being really open during all those seasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's gonna be calm and cool, and you're not gonna have
Exactly.
to miss everything, and you can be there and present, and sometimes it's gonna be crazy.
Mhm.
So you've just gotta be communicating that to them.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of communication and knowing the rhythms of it,
Mhm.
and I think we used to have a little bit more of a rhythm to where we had some more downtime and then more of our crazy moments, and now it's kinda just all pretty busy all the time, but there are definitely some times to where we can, be more present and get
Yeah,
to have a little bit more breathing room.
yeah.
Um, I think on the like, maybe on a little bit of flip side of that, if you are in ministry or you have a job that you're doing a lot of, but your kids are in sports and they wanna do this and they wanna do that, it also depends on the family
Mhm.
because we were almost kind of on, like, different opposite ends of this recently, where Ella played volleyball on the weekends, and then Nate was playing tournament ball on the weekends, and, we said we were gonna try it for a season and see how it went,
Yeah,
and so I was willing to try that because I do want them to be able to do what they love. What we did find was it was all week plus it was on the weekends, and
mhm.
it's like we can't not only are we not in church, but it really comes down to is that we're not having any family time
Yeah,
together, and that's my priority. We have to have some time together. Number 1, yeah, I want you to be in church. If you're not in church every single Sunday, that's okay, that's real life. But we're not gonna put, like, all these other things ahead of us having any family time together because we only get
right,
you for so long.
right.
Um, and so what we have realized is that there are alternatives for baseball. They
Mhm,
can play during the week,
mhm.
and so they can be
Well,
at church on the weekend and different things like that.
and you can do things where it's like, sure, tournaments are fun,
Right.
but you do
It's exhausting.
one
Right.
every 2 or 3 months
Right.
rather than every single
Exactly.
weekend, and the thing is if your child is destined to be a Major League Baseball
Mhm.
player or a professional athlete,
Yep.
God's plan is gonna prevail
Yep.
regardless, whether they are in that
Yep.
tournament sport or not, and so
Yep.
I learned I mean, I like I said, I'm a season ahead of
Yep.
you,
Exactly.
so
That's been super helpful.
I've learned that the hard way because we did that
Mhm.
with our 2 older ones for a while where it was, "Yep, we're traveling, spending all kinds of money we don't have to spend, and we're doing these
Mhm.
and just hoping she's gonna get a college
Yeah.
scholarship," and
But I
you
think what
know?
we had to learn was, like, Matt and I both had to learn and get on the same page too. Like, I
Mhm.
was kind of already there, but Matt kinda had to catch up,
It's
and s
harder for men
it's
because,
yeah.
they especially for our husbands
Mhm.
specifically, they were athletes themselves,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So there weren't those types of opportunities when
Right.
they were growing up.
Right.
So it's just a little bit
Yeah.
harder for them to
So it's been
see.
something good for us to wrestle through though,
Mhm.
too, right? Like, as a family wrestling through that and then us having to say telling Ella, like, because volleyball is really that one that's really there's not a lot of alternatives other than club, other than school, right?
Yeah.
But just, like, her being able to see the full picture, and having to make some, adjustments and make adjustments for baseball so they are seeing that here's our family values, and here's what we
Right.
gotta make sure we're sticking to.
Because that's what's the important thing.
Exactly.
The important part is the family. And I think
Yes.
for you guys specifically, I would say you have a mindset of like you're a hard worker. You give everything to whatever it
Mhm.
is you're doing, whether that's your job, your parent, anything.
Yeah.
You give 100% to whatever it is. And so for this past few months, I've seen you give 100% to everything you're doing, but you're doing a lot of it alone.
Yeah. It's
You were
exhausting.
you were at church every weekend for several weeks in a row by yourself,
Mhm.
doing it by yourself and missing the games and missing the time with your family and with your kids willingly
Yeah.
because you know this is what you're called to
Mhm.
do. But at the same time, it's not fair to you when you have a family
Mhm.
that wants to support you, but just doesn't realize that it's needed as much because you are so good at just
Yeah.
pushing through. And so I think the communicating to them,
Yeah.
I want you to be a part of what I'm doing
Mhm.
is where that comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had to get there too. And none of it was out of any type of, like, Like, Matt is when he's at church, he's at church. He serves a lot, like,
100%.
and the kids too. But it's kind of our heart of, like, we wanted to try to see how that we liked it, and then we realized that this is not gonna be for our family necessarily. And Matt missed a lot of the kids' stuff when they were growing up, like,
Mhm.
missed the school stuff, missed the games, missed the dance recitals, missed oh, I was alone on all that stuff when he was on shift work, right?
Yeah,
And so it has been on the flip side, like, really cool for him to be able to enjoy that too now. Um, but as a mom, like, I just wanna be at everything, you know?
mhm.
Like, that's just my heart as a mom,
Mhm.
and, um and he does get that. He does get that, and so I think we just had to come to that realization and that partnership in it. And we're gonna miss am I gonna miss some things? Yes. Is he gonna miss some
100%.
things? Yes, we know that,
I
right?
mean, he missed them reading you the poem tonight.
Exactly. Um,
Gary missed senior clap out this
yeah,
morning.
and Matt's been so good about filling in the gaps for us, like, he went to field day when we had team day, he's been able to, like and
Yeah,
that's been such a breath of fresh air because before he wasn't able to do any of that, I had to figure out how to be there,
yeah.
and so this has
That
been
used to be
nice.
me too. I
Yeah,
mean, not necessarily in ministry, I would just miss it and poor kids
right.
had nobody.
Yeah,
But I think when I was a stay-at-home parent, it was always happening I had to be at all the things for all the
yeah,
kids, and I would do school parties and,
right.
"Oh, I'm going from this classroom to this classroom," and trying to do everything because Gary couldn't be there and we couldn't split
Yes.
up, and it is what it is, but,
Yeah,
the other thing is, I don't think I remember a single holiday party in school. I have no
yeah,
memory of that.
yes,
We had them.
yes.
Were my parents there? I have no clue.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that.
Was anybody's parents there? I don't even know. That's
Yeah,
not what I remember.
I think that's my another tip. Second tip is, like, don't be so hard on yourself. I'm telling
Right,
myself that right
right.
now.
She's telling herself because she was
Literally.
being hard on herself today.
Yes, because it's a bigger deal to you than your kids probably,
Yeah.
you know?
In the moment, they're
In the
acting like it
moment, they're
is.
acting like it is, yes. But in the long run, I know things that I have done if I couldn't make it to somewhere is that I made another special moment with them. I knew I couldn't be there for ABC, but hey, tonight you and I are gonna go for ice cream together.
Yes.
And so I think that's
That's
another
another
way.
great tip.
It's a great tip,
Mhm,
especially if you work long, late hours. Maybe
mhm,
you're not in ministry, but you have to travel for work or you work long hours and you're having to miss this or that. Give your kids their why behind
mhm.
it. They need to know that you didn't miss it on purpose
Right.
because you didn't want to be there. They need to know how much you love them and that you did want to be there, but here's why. And guess what, bud? Now we do this together.
Yes.
And that's going to mean so much more to them than you being in the audience of something.
Where half the time you're probably standing room only, can't even see
Literally.
over the heads to
Literally.
get to
And
your
they don't remember because they're playing with their friends,
and I
you know?
think something else, they're very adamant that they want you there, right?
Yes.
But on the flip side of that, they're not gonna remember those times
Mhm.
because of the fact that you're still showing up for other things.
Right.
You're not missing every
Right.
single thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got
Mhm.
to go to senior clap out today because it's a Friday
Mhm.
and I didn't have to miss that.
Yes.
Gary had to miss that because he has meetings on Fridays.
Yeah.
And so you're the type of parent, if you're even worried about how you're balancing everything,
Yes.
you're already the type of parent that shows
Exactly.
up.
Yes.
The kids that are unfortunately missing out on their parents being there for them
Mhm.
are the ones who have parents that aren't there for anything.
Exactly.
And so when you know that you're showing up for everything that you possibly can when you can, your kids see that, they know
Mhm.
that, and they're gonna grow up and look back and be like, "My mom or my dad or both of
Yes.
my parents were there every time they could be,"
Right.
and then making those special
Mhm.
moments when you can't, that's a huge win.
Agree. Agree.
I
And
don't
make sure if you do tell your kids we're gonna be there, then you need to be there.
Yes.
Or if you find out you can't, something came up, figure out how to let them know.
Yeah.
Like get a teacher that you know well that can tell them in a kindest, sweetest way. But just don't leave your kids hanging because they
Yeah.
have feelings and they get excited about those kind of things too.
Yeah. It's funny because when you told me about Nate's poem reading, I started thinking, "Does Daxton have anything like that?" Because he hasn't said anything, but I think Daxton, unfortunately, it's kinda sad, has gotten to the point where he probably wouldn't tell me about something if he knows
Yeah.
I've already got something going on,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
Um, not going on, like, Friday today's Friday, he should have told me if there was anything
Yeah.
because he knows I'm off on Fridays. However, when it's during the week, he's gotten to the point where he's just, "There's a book fair and parents are coming, but
Yeah,
yeah, buddy, I can't do that. I'm
right.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I work too far to just come
exactly.
do that for 20 minutes and then
Mhm.
go back."
Yeah.
But I think, what you said, bringing the stories home,
Mhm.
letting your family know that they are a big part of what you're called to do and it's a family calling
Yeah.
are probably the most important tips. What else would you say? Do you think there's anything else when it comes to balancing leadership and family?
I think I would say there's no such thing as balance, honestly.
That's good.
Somebody told me that a long time ago, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've never heard that before." There's actually no such thing as balance.
There's not.
You can't have even it can't be even all the time. You
Mm-mm.
can't be equally parent, equally ministry, or equally your job employee all the time. It doesn't exist. There's going to be seasons to where you're going to have to be more parent. And there's going to be seasons in some of our busy or events or whatever where you have to travel. Well, you got to be more employee. And so it's okay.
Mhm.
Because in the long run, you're going to do a good job of balancing it, right? In the long run, the
Yeah,
average of your time.
right.
But you can't keep your life balanced all of the time. You will be trying to
Right.
make yourself crazy because it's not possible.
Well, and I think especially for ministry, it's not something you turn off.
No,
It's not
no.
something you clock out from.
Mm-mm.
You don't get to go home and you're done.
Right.
I know several times I'd go home and I'm okay with it. If I wasn't, I
Sure.
wouldn't do it, but I'm, texting the team or looking at
Hmm.
schedules or doing
Yep.
things that I can only get done while it's quiet and I'm at
Yeah.
home, and my family just gets it.
Yeah.
I have to tell them about it again, a
Hmm.
communication. And then there's times when I'm at home and I mean at work
Yep.
and now I gotta go home because I got a sick kid. Or, a couple weeks from now, I'm gonna have to leave for
Hmm.
fifth grade awards
Right. Same.
because,
Yeah.
that's once a school year.
Yeah.
And so it's just being there when you can, showing up when you can, and giving what you can to each
Hmm.
thing as you are able.
Yeah. 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 And I think also, I know it's not possible all the time, but whoever your boss is, making sure that you have a really good relationship with them and that you can communicate those
Hmm.
things. We have been very, very fortunate that our boss is very family first. And so he's like, go.
Yeah.
Like, go the fifth grade award and come back. Like, whatever you need to do. As long as your job is done and I know you're gonna do a great job. Like, I know that you're crushing it. Like, go do what you need to do.
Yeah. And don't
Um,
be afraid to ask because
and don't be afraid to ask.
that's where I get myself in trouble.
Yes.
I just don't. And to be fair, I literally just had this conversation with him this week.
That's good.
I think he was asking a question. I don't know. He was asking those questions. What were those questions?
I don't remember.
One of them was, if you could give more time to anything, what would you give
Mm,
your time to? And I said, probably my marriage or my relationship.
yeah.
And he said, well, why don't you do that or something? And I said, well, I think I just always, like, it's always Jesus first. Whatever I have to do, this is important to me. And so I'm always putting whatever is happening here first. Not
Mhm.
that means that my husband's not important.
Mhm.
I just don't leave a lot of space naturally for even saying I have something going on and I
Yeah.
need to be there or I want to be there because I'm scared. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm really bad at that part.
Something she needs to work on.
It is. I 100% need to work on it. I will communicate with my family all day long, but when it comes to communicating my needs at work, I'm not so great at it. But it's not like a detrimental thing. Like I haven't yet, knock on wood, gotten to a place where I think it's like negatively impacting
Yeah.
me or the family or the kids or anything. And I think in times where I've almost gotten to that point, I have voiced it,
Mhm.
right? Where I have said, I just need to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
What was it that Kason had? His birthday, his 18th
Mhm.
birthday. Fell on a Saturday. Said, I'm going to be there for Saturday services, but I'm probably not going to
Yeah.
help reset for Sunday. I'm just going to head out to
Yep.
celebrate. That was something I wasn't willing to not
Yeah.
do on his actual birthday.
Yeah.
So I think there are times when I am,
It could be harder for you.
it is more difficult.
Yeah. And I think I went into ministry with the like I'm going into this, but because you told like they told us up front, you have a flexible schedule because that was like one thing. I left the school system, own my own business, so I could have a flexible schedule with my kids. And so I was like, I'm not giving that up. And
Oh, yeah.
so, of course, I have to. There are some times, but I try as much as humanly possible to voice what I need as far as my family goes. And I will tell my boss, my family comes first. And he'll say, as they should.
Yeah.
Even his boss said that. We had meetings with him and I talked a lot to him about that too. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And so having a community and having a place where we work that does truly believe that too is a big deal.
Yeah. 100%.
So work somewhere that you love because if you don't,
Yes.
then it's miserable and it's just not worth it.
And it's also like you've got to balance like what is the not miss
Yes, exactly.
and what is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And you get better and better at that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if senior clap out would have been yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
that's once in a life. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
only
And
got
it's a short period of time.
right.
You
So
know?
I wouldn't have missed
Right.
that.
Exactly.
If there's a art show
Mhm.
and I saw the art project at home, that's probably not one I'm
Right.
gonna,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's a way to like pick and choose which things that you can
Yes.
actually like prioritize and make sure you're present
Yeah.
for. And it's usually those bigger things.
Mhm. Absolutely.
And that's okay. I've got to get better at doing that.
Yes. We're gonna work on that together.
I think honestly this year I think I've done a better
You
job.
have done a way better job at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you ask God?
And I think that comes with having that comfort and that open
Yeah,
communication,
for sure.
with my leader that I feel like I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to the poetry thing because they made it sound like because he called me. He's like, okay, can you come at 1 o'clock? And I said, no, buddy, because I only had the whole big event at 10 and 1. I said, I'm gonna still be at my appointment. And they said, you come at 3. She's like, come at 3:20. I was like, ugh. At first I said no, but I was able to get out of there enough time to like literally get there at 3:20, thinking like there should be other moms there. No, just me.
Oh,
So they pulled him out of his elective. But when I walked in, his face, like he
I
was
love
so excited that I was there. It was just his teacher was in there. It was just me and him. And as he read the little poems to me, it was so sweet.
that's so cute. So was it like originally a big,
It was called the Poetry Cafe.
and so
So
there
like
was
they were
multiple originally at the
yes,
multiple.
originally they had like flowers and like this little menu, and they would like they were coming up like your appetizer is this poem you could pick, and then the main meal was another
Oh,
poem. So he just read them all to me. They're all different kinds of poems. But it was still really sweet and cute.
that's super cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope Dax didn't do anything.
He made I think it was just their team.
I'm
but
gonna have to find out because that's a little nerve
yeah.
wracking.
So it's like when you can go get there.
Yes.
Like when you can go get there, but and I have to be better at like, hey, you don't have to like move heaven and earth when you have one day off to
Right.
do this where
You
I could read it at home.
Still have to take care of you.
Yes. Yes.
That's another tip.
Yes. Yes.
When you are when you have such a busy life and you're trying to
Mhm.
balance whether that is leadership, ministry, work, working full time,
Yes.
parenting,
That's a big tip.
and being a spouse, you still have to take care of you.
Yeah.
We all know this as if you're a mom or whatever, you hear this a lot when you
Mhm.
are first having a baby, right? You
Yeah.
can't pour from an empty cup.
Yep.
You can't like take care of the baby if you're not taking care of you. Sleep when the baby sleep. All these things you do that when they're infants,
Mhm.
but that's still important
Yes.
when they're growing up.
Yes.
You still have to do things for you so that you can be the best version of you for all of it.
Yeah.
Whether that is for your husband, for your kids, for your work, for your ministry.
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of you, you're no good to anybody.
Yeah. And I am still working on that one.
She is. She's got to work on that one
I do. I do.
because it's the whole airplane thing, right? Like you
Yep.
put the mask on yourself before you
Mhm.
put it on your kid.
Yeah.
That is very counterintuitive to our brains as
Literally
parents.
is.
And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't always been this.
Yeah, you've
I've
had
been
to get
you,
there. Yeah.
before.
Yep.
And I've beat myself up and felt the mom guilt. And not that the mom guilt completely disappears,
No.
but I am definitely able to reason with myself a lot
Mhm.
quicker than I used to be. And now I'm able to use
Yeah.
that wisdom with
Yeah.
you
Yeah. It's really good.
because, we all need that friend. And rewinding a little bit when we were talking about missing school things because of X, Y, and Z, that is also where your village comes
Mhm.
in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have to have not necessarily best friends
Mhm.
at the school or with parents of other kids, but the more you get to know those around you, you
Yes.
can say, "Hey, are you gonna be there?
Yep.
Can you send me a
Happens
video?"
all the time.
Mhm. "Send me a quick video,"
Yes.
or,
Yes.
"Text me how it goes." That's important too.
So important. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
there's so many times that's happened
Mhm.
that the other moms have sent me videos when I
Yeah.
couldn't be there or
Well, I
videos
used
of
to
work.
be that mom for people.
Yeah.
I when I stayed home and I would go to every field day for
Mhm.
Kason, and he had friends who I knew their moms,
Mhm.
and they were working and couldn't make it because they were,
Yep.
a single mom or whatever. I am going to take pictures
Yep.
and videos
Yep.
and say, "Got to see your kiddo. Here it is."
Yeah.
And because I know how important that is, I would
Mhm.
want someone to do that for
Yeah.
me. And here we are.
Yep.
Now that is the season where I'm in, and I need someone to do that for
Yep.
me.
Yep. So important. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. It's just so important to have those people. Get to know the people on your kids' teams.
Yeah.
Get to know people at, their schools and whatnot.
Right.
It's hard, but
So let's transition. I hope if anybody had questions about that answered your questions
yeah.
or helped you. But I'd love to transition to talk a little bit about Mother's Day because
Yeah.
this will air after Mother's
Mhm.
Day. So hopefully you got everything you wanted for Mother's Day. But something I thought that would be fun would be what would your perfect Mother's Day look
Ooh.
like? Uh, let's pretend like in our case, we're celebrating on a day that isn't
I
Sunday.
was about to say, um,
Let's pretend like it's not Sunday.
not Sunday. Okay.
And what would be the perfect uh, way that you would feel celebrated? What would you want to do? There are two sides of the coin. Some moms want to spend Mother's Day with their children,
Mhm.
some moms want to escape away from their children.
Yes, yes. Probably depends on the age of the children.
That's true.
But I think if I didn't have to work, I didn't have to be like on a Sunday, full day, I'd probably want a little bit of both. I would think I would like some like pampering, like a massage and facial. I would love that to like start off my morning and then get home, make sure my house is clean when I got home. Maybe do like, or maybe even like probably the like go with a girlfriend, like two people. That's where we go to do a massage and a facial, and then go grab some lunch somewhere, and then come home to a clean house. I really love flowers, even though they die. I still love them. Even told Matt this year. Remember, I love flowers because you haven't been getting them.
I've never been a flower person. I'm trying to become
I
one.
love flowers. I just love fresh flowers. Um, so I would love like just some really pretty flowers. And then just probably spending time together at home doing working outside in the yard, just whatever, whatever I want to do. Like, just ask me what I want to do. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, just ask me.
Yeah.
Just ask me what I want
Don't
for
ask
dinner.
me. Just know what I would
So yeah,
want.
I've learned that doesn't work. That's where my disappointment comes in. So like this year, I was like, just ask me. And so, or actually, just tell you. Let me just tell you what I want for dinner.
I
Um,
want them to read my mind.
I know, me too, but our counselor says not to do
I
that.
know.
I'm like, okay, don't read it. You can't read your mind. You can't read your mind. Okay, so like a little day with a friend and then come home, clean house, just get to lounge and literally think about nothing. Maybe hang outside off the porch. And then like I told Matt for this month, I was like, I want like one of your really good steaks with your mushrooms and a baked potato and vegetables and like a good dessert and a, good little drink with it. That's what I want. I just want to do nothing. I don't want my brain to have to think about anything.
Mhm.
So I want to be pampered, have some family time, and not have to think about anything.
Love it. Well, I'm a little more high maintenance because what I want from my perfect Mother's Day, if it wasn't on a Sunday, would be send me to a hotel
mm,
with you.
yes.
We're going to a hotel, local,
Yes.
staycation, and this hotel has a spa where we
Yes.
can get pedicures, massages, scalp massages,
That sounds amazing.
and there's a pool, and we can lay out by the pool with our
Yes.
Kindles and read books and eat
Okay, I
whatever
want to do
we
that now.
want. Yes. eat whatever we want.
Yes.
And then when we come home the next day, the house has been completely cleaned,
Mm,
spotless, not a single thing out of place. To which then I'm presented with whatever they have done for me, whether that's flowers, a gift, whatever.
mhm. That
That's
sounds
my
great.
perfect
That
Mother's
sounds great
Day.
too. Okay, so my sister and I used to do these things called dark days.
Dark days.
A dark day. We need to do one.
What is that?
So you do what you just said. We would go to a hotel for the day.
Mm-hmm.
We call it the dark day because it's like we can turn our brain off. We do nothing what we want to do. We would sit by the pool. We would just read, and then we would have dinner in bed. We
Mm-hmm.
do room service. We have breakfast, or we I think we might have gone out to dinner. Depending on how we felt. We didn't have to do. We had no plans. We sit
Yeah.
by the pool. We could either order room service, or we would go out to dinner just real quick, or whatever, and then we had breakfast in bed that already was ordered, and then we just lounge. If we want to do some shopping the next day, we did, and then we went home.
Yeah, let's
It's a
do that.
dark day.
Let's do that.
Yeah, it was
Since
so great.
since Mother's Day is actually on a Sunday and we can't have our perfect
Yes, I
Mother's Day,
agree.
let's have a
Okay,
dark day.
okay.
I want that.
I do too. We just need to plan a day.
And it can be a random like Tuesday, Wednesday or something.
Yeah,
It doesn't even have to be a weekend.
updates coming because we're doing it.
We just have to figure out the time.
Hmm.
So I think Mother's Day coming and being on a Sunday adds a lot of
It does.
challenges for moms in ministry because we don't get to
Hmm.
have a relaxing day
You
where
don't.
we are ministering to other moms, which is an honor,
Absolutely.
100%. As long as when I get
I
home,
know.
I'm coming home to peace.
Yes, please just let it be peaceful when we get home. That's
I
just the
mean,
biggest
they
thing.
won't even get to hear this before Mother's
I
Day,
know.
but
I hope they know
that's the
already.
biggest thing. I think this year I'm normally not big into whatever, just do whatever. If I have a desire for something, I'm gonna make it known. A couple of years ago, I said, "This is exactly what I want." It was fresh in ministry. I
Hmm.
was fresh in like August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Not even a full year,
Yeah.
9 months, something
Yeah.
like that. 9 months in, and it was where I came home on Sundays and I still had to take a nap because I was
Hmm.
so drained.
Yeah.
As an introvert,
Yeah.
I I didn't have a large capacity to
Hmm.
to deal with a lot. And I just wanted to come home, get into comfortable clothes,
Hmm.
take a nap, and wake up to my favorite meal, which
Hmm.
is something that my mom always cooked. And so I told Gary, call my mom, figure out the recipe.
Meatballs.
Yes. And mashed potatoes, but not, I hate it. Like when you call it meatballs,
I
it
know it's not really
sounds,
meatballs.
it's like a meatball, but it's,
It's different though from what you've
it's,
described it.
yes, it's not a meatball like you have with, spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's,
Like a Swedish almost with like cream, right? Like a gravy.
I want to call it a German meatball because my mom's
Yeah.
family has got a German origin, but it's basically ground beef with seasonings and diced onions and rice formed into a ball and then topped with ketchup and baked.
Okay. Okay.
And then you serve that with, it's almost like a
Yeah,
meatloaf,
that's what it sounds
but
like.
without
Okay.
breadcrumbs. The rice replaces the
Yeah.
breadcrumbs. I don't
Okay.
know. They're amazing. And so that's what I wanted.
Okay.
And I just wanted to come home to that. And when I came home,
Oh Lord,
that was not what I came home
it
to.
wasn't.
Yeah, he was cooking those. He called and got the recipe from
Oh.
my mom, but that was not what I came home to. I came home to a house full of people. Yeah, that was, as long as he never does that again,
He won't.
um,
He won't do that again.
we won't fail. For the first time ever, I've been asking, what are you guys doing for me for Mother's Day? Because I don't think they have a plan. My Gary does not usually have plans. Like ever. It's usually, what do you want to do? What do you want? And it's
Yeah.
just surprise me.
Yeah.
But this year it's my first one without my mom.
Yeah.
And so I want some sort of distraction. I want something meaningful. I want something to happen that is going to take away the pain that I'm feeling because I've
Yep.
been feeling it all week already.
I know.
I
I
was
know.
thinking just the other day about like my dad spoiled the crap out of my mom. I'm going to get emotional. And so last year on Mother's Day, I don't even know what he did for her. Uh, but what I thought through randomly at work this week while I was working on the photo op was whatever he did for her, whether he got her flowers or a gift, he had no idea
Mhm.
that she'd only get to enjoy whatever that
Yeah.
was for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So true.
And that was hard. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it made me cry in the moment. I went to the bathroom and wiped my tears away, and then went back to work. But
Yeah.
and so I think this day is super hard
Mhm.
because I called my mom on Mother's Day last year after I left church,
Yeah.
and after I got home from church, and she didn't answer, and I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
I was like, she's eating some food with my
Right.
dad or
Yeah.
something, preoccupied, whatever. I had no idea,
Yeah.
no idea that that I
Yeah.
wouldn't have her
Yeah.
a couple weeks
Much
later.
longer. Yeah.
And so this year, I definitely want my Mother's Day to be something special somehow, even though I'm probably setting myself up for disappointment.
It
Uh,
will be special.
I mean, Jesus is special, so I
Well,
will
I
get
mean,
to be
yes.
over I will get to be doing what I do and what I love to do.
Yes. But
But
I know what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Don't worry. I know what you mean.
yeah. So anyways, where did you see God show up this week?
I think in just I don't know. I think a lot of different ways. We had um a lot of different like meetings this week with some upper bosses, and I think it was really good just to hear his thoughts, and just our conversations were really good. It was just kind of a little, like, you like to call it, a God wink.
Yeah.
Um um because our organization is really big, yet he is like, I'm a big fan of yours. And it just a lot of things that he was saying, and he actually listened to me, was just confirmation of what God's doing, and that I'm still in the right spot,
Mhm.
as hard as it can be a
Yeah.
lot of times. And I was even able to say that to him. Um, and so it was like God just continuing to give that piece of like, you're still in the right chair. You're still in the right, spot on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. So I'm going to continue to give you what you need.
Right.
So,
I love that. For me, so I think, I mean, geez, now that I've got to switch the mood here, wipe these tears. Whenever we go through things that are very, very difficult, I one of the biggest pieces of advice we give to people is God's going to use this. And so I think this week I got to see how God was using one of the most difficult seasons of my life to
hmm
speak into somebody else.
yeah.
I had the opportunity to talk to someone who's currently divorced and is thinking of reconciling with her ex-husband. I don't think we've ever talked about
I'm going to say we need to just do one podcast
we
about
need to do a
that.
podcast about my
Yeah.
story,
Maybe our next
but
one.
that is my story.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been through a divorce. I've been a single mom, and I've reconciled with my ex-husband.
hmm
And it was probably the hardest thing I've ever been through as far as when you realize, like, you have got no choice but to be strong
Yeah.
when your life doesn't turn out
Right.
exactly as you thought it was going to in that way. But I got to use it, and I got to take all of the wisdom that I learned through that, through the reconciliation with my husband and where God showed up, and I got to speak into her in ways that I don't even think that I knew it wasn't me.
hmm
The Holy
Yeah.
Spirit was speaking through me. I said things that I didn't even imagine I would say,
Yeah.
or that I even noticed happened with my own situation,
hmm
and I got to use that within her.
I love that.
And so I think, man, when you go through hard times and you get to see God use it in someone else's
There's
life,
nothing like it. There's
nothing
just
like it.
nothing like it.
Not at all. So I have that
So
bit of
cool.
encouragement. If you're
Yeah.
going
It's
through a
so
hard time
good.
right now, just be patient. God's going to use that season to bless somebody else.
The cool thing is, it's not something that she sees all the time. Like, this person doesn't even go to our campus, and it's like she still went to Helen
Yeah.
after years and years of,
Well, the crazy thing is, our senior pastor used mine and
Mhm.
Gary's story
Yeah.
briefly on the message, and she had invited her ex-husband to church with her, I guess back for the first time. He hadn't been to
Mhm.
church in a long time.
Mhm.
And so she invited him to church, and they saw that.
That's
The day
crazy.
before she and I we had
Yeah.
already planned to meet.
Right.
And so that was also just like a little God moment weaving in there. So,
Yeah. What a cool story.
yeah.
It's like God's gonna use the storms.
Yep.
It's gonna use the storms, and it's even cooler when we get to be a part of it and actually get to see it,
Yeah.
you know?
I love it.
So, good. That's awesome.
All right.
Well, happy Mother's Day. after Mother's
Yeah,
Day.
6 days after, 5
Yeah.
days after,
Yeah.
whatever.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Call to Chaos
And if this episode made you laugh,
or made you feel just a little bit less alone,
share it with a friend who's also living in the chaos.
we'll talk to you next time.
Bye,
Bye, friends.
friends.